Welcome to Cliffyland and the launch of Second Spin, a global cooking adventure. Once again, we will be working our way around the world, cooking dishes from every country on earth, from Afghanistan to Zimbabwe. If you want to find out about how it went the first time, head to cliffyland.com and you can see how that all started exactly 4 years ago. With that, we are on to country number 1, Afghanistan. That's Afghanistan right there. Afghanistan is obviously the first country on our list, and it's what started this entire process 4 years ago. So let's take a look at what happened back then. As you had seen in our intro video, if you watched it, Afghanistan is what started it all when I was reading a book about Afghanistan and read about a stew, and I made it and it came out very well. And it was only a week after that that I decided to start my blog and my 193-week project. So here we are again, and in honor of that, we are making the same dish I made 4 years ago. We will be making a lamb with spinach. This is the name. I'm not going to try to pronounce it for fear that I'm going to screw it up horribly. Now, last time, it came out really well, and it inspired the entire journey. So we're going to try it again. Oh, by the way, here's the thing about the dish. In the 4 years it's taken to get around the world doing the food of every country, I learned a whole lot about different cuisines of the world, and I didn't really realize some of the mistakes I'd made early on. Not so much a mistake, but the fact that this dish is not really like the national dish of Afghanistan. Also, it's not even the dish that was mentioned in that book. Still, it was really good. In fact, it was so easy to cook that I was able to do it without even really knowing how to boil water. So, let's take a look at those ingredients. First, we have 2.5 pounds of lamb stew meat, 1/3 cup of olive oil, about 3/4 pound of large diced onions, about 4 teaspoons of diced garlic, 2 teaspoons of turmeric, about 1/4 teaspoon of freshly grated nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of crushed red chili peppers, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom, 32-ounce tin of peeled tomatoes. We couldn't find a 32-ounce tin, so we've scaled it down here to your standard 28-ounce tin. About 1 cup of beef stock, or veal stock if you can find or make that. We have about 1/3 pound of fresh spinach, 1/2 cup of yogurt, 1 tablespoon of lemon peel or lemon zest. And lastly, for the dressing, 1/4 cup of pine nuts. We're also going to serve that with some basmati rice, which we're going to make in the rice cooker and just show at the end. So, we're going to get started on our Periscope and Busker stream. Be sure to follow us on Periscope or Busker if you want to see the live streams. But here goes. See you then. Okay, so we have our oil over here. We're heating up the oil in our pot, Dutch oven. It's the oven. We're going to preheat to 350 right now. So we heated up the olive oil. We're going to get our lamb and we're going to sear it in the oil. And drop that in. So, now we've got a little bit of a sear on those. We're going to add in the onions. So we're adding in the onions. And we're going to saute that for about 2 minutes. So now let's go add in the garlic. Again, this is about 2 teaspoons of minced garlic here. And we're going to saute that for just about a minute. So now we're going to add in the turmeric and then the nutmeg. So we're adding 1 teaspoon of cardamom. Our crushed red pepper goes in, and then the cinnamon, and then we're going to saute this for a minute or 2 more. So now we're going to add in the tomatoes and the beef stock And we're gonna stir this up. And then we're gonna bake it for an hour in the oven at 350 to toast our pine nuts. We have our pine nuts sitting right over here. So we're gonna take our pine nuts and kind of spread them on the baking sheet covered with aluminum foil. And those are gonna be toasted in the oven for about 3 minutes. Okay, so we have the stew. It's been in the oven for an hour, and we're going to take it out. So here we have our lovely stew. Ooh, pretty. We're gonna add the spinach. Again, this is about 1/3 of a pound of fresh spinach. We're gonna stir it in until it wilts some. We're gonna add in our yogurt. We're gonna add in the lemon zest. Now we're gonna add salt to taste. And we're going to dress you with the pine nuts. So we just finished having the dinner. How'd it go? Well, it was definitely really tasty. Had a nice kick from the hot peppers, and you could definitely taste the cinnamon and cardamom in there. Mixed it all in with the rice, which is really important. Otherwise it wasn't just all soupy. The yogurt did do a nice job of cutting the heat. So all in all, a big score. So check in next week when we cook Albania. Till then, happy eating. And, subscribe.